So picture this, the Cold War, but stupider. A government so paranoid it threw money at literal wizards. Grown men staring at goats until they died of embarrassment. Taxpayer dollars funding what is essentially X-Men. Welcome to Project Stargate. The CIA's attempt to weaponize the psychic abilities of people who couldn't even predict last week's weather, never mind the location of a Soviet missile silo. So it's the 1970s, the decade where everyone was high, paranoid, or both. The CIA hears rumors that the Soviets are experimenting with psychics. Because of course they are. It's the USSR, land of vodka, concrete, and bad ideas done at scale. Now, instead of doing the sensible thing, laughing, shrugging, and moving on, the CIA panics harder than a teenager clearing their browser history. They go, what if the Russians get psychic superpowers before we do? And Congress somehow says, yeah, fine, here's a pile of money. Thus, Project Stargate was born. The CIA recruits psychic consultants, which is government speak for, we hired the weirdest people we could find because actual scientists refused to return our calls. These remote viewers claimed they could see inside Soviet buildings, locate missing aircraft, describe enemy plans, and, in one case, find a lost goat. The goat probably found them first. One guy claimed he could leave his body, float across the globe, and spy on Russian submarines. Another insisted he viewed alien civilizations during work hours, which is impressive considering half the team struggled to view reality. And the CIA nodded, wrote it down, and paid them.
We've lost intelligence! I repeat, we have no intelligence!
Honestly, if you ever want to feel better about your life choices, remember there are psychics who bought houses using CIA money. After years of results, the CIA finally tallies up what they got. Accurate predictions. Occasionally someone guessed vaguely right. Translation, your uncle could have done this after 3 beers. Inaccurate predictions. A lot. Enough wrong answers to qualify the entire department as a failed game show contestant. But the CIA couldn't admit they wasted millions on the supernatural equivalent of astrologers doing interpretive dance. So they cherry-picked the few hits and went, look, proof, maybe, possibly, don't think too hard about it. It's the equivalent of betting on 500 horses, losing 499 times, and bragging about the one win like you're Nostradamus. At one point, the project extended into military applications. Someone, an adult human with a salary, asked, what if we stare at goats until they die as a method of warfare? And instead of firing that person, the government said, brilliant, fund it. Thus, the legendary goat staring experiments were born. Spoiler, no goats died, but several soldiers died inside. The only thing that ever dropped dead in that lab was hope. By the 1990s, after 2 decades of pouring money into something that had less scientific validity than a horoscope printed on wet toilet paper, the government finally said, all right, we're done here. Project Stargate was shut down, files declassified, psychics unemployed, again, and America collectively realized it had spent millions to discover that psychics aren't real. This is the CIA equivalent of paying for years of piano lessons only to learn the piano was actually a toaster. Of course, Hollywood swooped in like a seagull spotting a dropped hot dog. We got books, documentaries, and The Men Who Stare at Goats, a movie where George Clooney tries to weaponize spiritual nonsense. The public loved it, because it's hilarious in hindsight, mostly because we didn't pay for it. Well, aside from the taxpayers, who absolutely paid for it, heavily. So that's Project Stargate, a perfect cocktail of Cold War paranoia, government money, and people who thought they could kill a goat using eyebrows.